Hello friends and welcome to Raj Malhotra's IAS. So this is our current affairs series. As you all know that every week from Monday to Saturday we bring before you some of the most important current affairs from different subjects taken by different faculties. I, Snigdha, take your international relations and history related current affairs, right? So now we are in the 6th week of our series, right? Before this I have already discussed some of the very important news items and current affairs related to IR. Like I have already discussed Ukraine Russia issue, a very important issue for your civil services examinations. Now for UPSC, for your state exams also, जितने भी state के exams आ रहे हैं, everywhere the potential of asking questions on Ukraine Russia is very high. So please go into the first week, first Thursday of our series. You will get the video on that. After that we discussed India Pacific. That is again a very important topic, always relevant, and all the groups related to it like Quad, AUKUS. So different formations, different issues arise because of the relevance of Indo-Pacific. We have discussed all that in very much detail in this Thursday series, so do watch that video also. Both of these will give you high returns because these topics are like eternal, can be asked anywhere and at any time, right? Good afternoon everyone. Rohit, Reshma, good afternoon. Ruhi, good afternoon. Rushi, sorry. Okay, now today we are going to discuss these 4 issues broadly. Some are related to your art architecture part and some are related to your international affairs part, right? So these will be very useful for you. Let's begin today's discussion now. So first, you might have seen this person, a very famous personality, Ranveer Singh, in news, getting the golden visa awarded by the UAE ministers or officials, right? So now this person is as such not important, but the term golden visa becomes important for us. ठीक है, state civil services में या even in UPSC there can be an question on what golden visa are or is, right? So basically golden visa is a residence permit. ठीक है, जैसे whenever you go in a foreign country, you require visa or permission to stay in that country, right? And then to conduct business or to have permanent property there, you need even some form of citizenship, like we have PR in Canada, Australia, we have all the stuff. So here in UAE, if you want to conduct some business or stay there longer, buy property there, you need to have a national sponsor, right? For normal people that is the criteria. Now with the golden visa, the provision is that whoever is given a golden visa, whichever personality is given a golden visa, they do not require to have a national sponsor, right? So this visa by its own virtue gives that person the right to stay in that country for long term, right? And have the ownership of business to 100%. Otherwise, so they have restrictions on what kind of businesses they conduct, how much share in the business they can have. They also need to have national sponsor. आप या मैं अगर वहाँ चले जाएं UAE में, we will need a national sponsor to be there for long term, right? But now the people holding golden visa like Ranveer Singh, now he can at any time go in UAE and stay there for any amount of time he needs to, for a period of 5 to 10 years. These golden visas are offered, they offer residency for 5 to 10 years, right? They do not require a national sponsor now, right? That is basically golden visa is there. So now this golden visa is given to different kind of personalities like your investors, entrepreneurs, individuals with outstanding talents, ठीक है? जो भी अब देखिए हम जैसे आम लोगों को तो दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू गिव दिस वीज़ा, दे ऑफर सच सर्विसेज, सच स्पेशल treatment to people who are high achieving, right, who have done business good in their businesses or in their other spheres of profession. So why do they do this? Why such golden visas are provided? Simply because these persons are of high achievement, so they can use their talent or acumen, you can say, or their knowledge or their money, like investors की, they can use this money to build the UAE's economy. ठीक है, सिंपल रीजन है, अपनी इकोनॉमी को अच्छा परफॉर्म कराने के लिए दे यूज सच पीपल. So they give them golden visas that you can come and stay and conduct your business in our country for as much time as you want in a free manner, right? So that is why ab isme, see, specifically after COVID-19, you already know that the condition of economies in different countries has been frail, right? So every country is trying to make some arrangements to revive their economy. So in that direction, UAE is also focusing on having more outside experts or, like I said, high achieving individuals in their country so that they can help boost their country. ठीक है, जैसे आप समझिए, UAE is also working on a blockchain project to develop blockchain, to use blockchain to manage its data, right? There also many Indian engineers are working in that area and they are paying very well to those engineers. So you see, UAE is basically trying to get the best individuals of India or any other country to their economy so that their economy gets a boost, right? So this is a very good strategy. जैसे हम कहते रहते हैं कि इंडिया से ब्रेन ड्रेन हो रहा है, ब्रेन ड्रेन हो रहा है, सो दिस इज अ वे to get the brain gain. They are actually getting the best of the brains from around the world by using this provision, right? So that is basically about the golden visas. Now the next topic of our discussion for today will be the Bamiyan Buddhas. Again, a very important topic, right? It would be, so it would be, please ask doubts that are relevant to the session, right? So I cannot answer all other doubts because there is some theme that is going on for this lecture, right? So this is again is a very important topic for your art and culture kind of perspective. इस पे pre में question, there is a high possibility that pre में question बन सकता है in your civil services, Punjab, Haryana, anywhere, or even in UPSC. That is why I have picked this. So now why this issue has come to news now, ठीक है, news based questions आते हैं, we know that, but why this is currently in news? So देखिए, अफगानिस्तान में अब कौन सी गवर्नमेंट है? नाउ देयर डेमोक्रेटिकली इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट हैज बीन टॉपल्ड एंड नाउ वी हैव तालिबान regime in Afghanistan. Now this Taliban regime is promising to protect the ancient Buddha statues, ठीक है, they are saying that they will protect. Now protection चाहिए किससे? Obviously, see, these ancient structure had lot of historical value. They are even protected by the UNESCO, the international body, to, you know, because of their significance. But last time, that is 2000 में, जब 1990s में, I mean, when Taliban came to power in Afghanistan, they destroyed these statues. The ones you are seeing here, they were not present. They are not present currently here. This is the Purani picture, you can say, of the Bamiyan Buddhas. Now these have been destroyed by Taliban because, you know, the Taliban is an orthodox religious group. They do not give space, equal space, to all other religions, and this is a representation of another religion, right? That is why they destroyed these Buddhas. Now Taliban is saying that they will make efforts to protect whatever other architectural buildings or statues are there around this statue itself that has already been destroyed. Right now, why do you think will they be interested in saving it? What has changed now? Agar pehle wo orthodox the, now also they are orthodox, why would they be interested? So the reason is China and the frail economy of Afghanistan, right? देखिए, you all know that the economic condition of Afghanistan is very poor. After Taliban took over power, all the aid, all the help, assistance in monetary terms that was coming from outside, like USA, like UN, all of that aid was stopped, right? All of that aid was stopped, right? So this was the major source of Afghanistan's economy, ठीक है? इस aid को use करके ही Afghanistan used to pay its officers, its officials, pay their salaries, and अपने daily businesses they used to conduct. Now that aid has stopped, Afghanistan is economically suffering, right? So now they need a new partners who can help revive their economy. One such important partner for Afghanistan is China. As you can see the picture, these are the pictures between the Chinese and Talibani leadership showing their bonhomie, or the kind of collaboration they want to have. For both of them, this is a mutually beneficial relationship. China will get what? China will get a wealth of minerals that is believed to be existing in the soils of Afghanistan. And what will Afghanistan get? The technological and financial support to extract that mineral wealth. And it will levy royalties or taxes from the Chinese side. So that means its economy will get some money that they actually require. So that is why now to please the Chinese side, they are saying that they will be focusing on protecting the Buddhas, the Bamiyan Buddhas. ठीक है, उनको अपने relationships China के साथ improve करने हैं so that they can get economic benefits. So that is why they are focusing on the protection of Bamiyan Buddhas, right? Now after that, Bamiyan Buddhas is itself a very important topic, as I told you. So some uski details we will discuss. So it's located in Mes Ayank. Mes Ayank is the name of the location where they are located, and that is why they are also called as the Mes Ayank statues. ठीक है, इन्हें Bamiyan Buddhas की जगह Mes Ayank statues भी कहा जाता है, right? Now you see, this is where they are located. This is very near to your Hindu Kush mountains, right? So they were very strategically located on the Silk Route. Your Silk Route passed somewhere like this, the ancient Silk Route, or you can say like this. Afghanistan was one important country through which Silk Route passed, and this Bamiyan Buddhas were located at that position. ठीक है, ये तो आप खुद ही समझ सकते हैं कि देखिए, Afghanistan is not related to Buddhism. So how these Buddhist statues reach there? Can you answer this? How can Buddhist statues be constructed there? Till then, I'll discuss the locational aspects. So it is located in the Bamiyan Valley, in the Hindu Kush mountains, right? And it is the key node of Silk Route. Can you tell me, are you able to identify that why, how Bamiyan Buddhas came up in this region when Afghanistan is nowhere related to Buddhism as such? The connection is to the Silk Route itself, because on Silk Route, cultural exchanges, we can say that because on the Silk Route, lot of merchants used to travel from Asia, Southeast Asia towards Europe, and from Europe to Southeast Asia. So in that way, the cultural exchanges that you are saying that have happened, made by Chinese when they travel to Silk Route, yeah, that is what you can say, that people from the Southeast Asia, they came to this place and they created Buddhist heritage in this place, right? Also we know that two schools of Buddhist architecture कौन से हैं? Can you tell me two schools of Buddhist architecture? that also shows that Buddhism was present in this, also shows that Buddhism was present in this areas, right? Two schools of Buddhist architecture, I asked. If I said only Buddhism, then I'll correct myself. Two schools of Buddhist architecture or statues that we have studied in our culture part. What are those two schools? One of those schools is the Gandhara school. This place is also located in this Afghanistan side only. So you can say that under the rulers like Kanishka, since then, this Buddhism had started spreading in this region. So this region was not totally aloof of the influence of Buddhism, right? So that is why these uh, बुद्धिस्ट स्टैचूज केम टू बी लोकेटेड एयर. यहाँ पे मैंने आपका ये भी यूपीएससी का क्वेश्चन था ये लास्ट ईयर, दैट हाउ बुद्धिज्म स्प्रेड, नॉट लास्ट ईयर, सम ईयर्स बैक, दैट हाउ बुद्धिज्म spread all over the world. So this is one example. You can always use such examples while writing your answers, that see, through our rulers, through our merchants, Buddhism spread to all over the world. Like we have Bamiyan Buddhas in Afghanistan, a far off place where we do not expect things to reach, right? Only when merchants moved, only when rulers reached there, at that time the impact of Buddhism spread. So that is how that answer was to be written. That also I have discussed here. Now let's just see some of the architectural details of these statues. Here you see these are two statues that are lying here. Let me show the panoramic view. So this is the entire hill where these statues are located. So see, let me zoom a little bit for you. So you see here is one Buddhist image, that is statue is there, and the other one is here, right? So they are so distantly located on this entire hill. You get it? Now you see, now that is, so these two are those statues. This is before their destruction. Now nothing is there at this place. Now these have been destroyed by the Talibanis, right? So these are two statues. They are named as Salsal and Shamama. Okay, one is the male, other is the female, right? So Salsal means the light that shines through the universe, basically, and Shamama is the queen mother, right? As I told you, one is male, one is female. UNESCO included it in the World Heritage Sites list. Very important, as I told you. It's architecturally a wealth for the entire world. That is why UNESCO included it in the heritage list, right? Now you can always see what kind of architecture styles it follows. It has a combo of Gupta age architecture style, Sasanian, that means Iranian or Persian hints, Hellenistic means German or Germanic kind of influences. So these Buddhas are a combo of these three types of architectural styles. Okay, so they came up in the 5th century, right? They came up much before Islam took place, or gained its ground in this region. Islam kab aaya tha? It originated in 7th century, and after that it spread to various regions. It started in Saudi Arabia, you can say. From there it spread to other areas. So these Buddhas were there before any kind of imprint was there of Islam, right? So these were also used to be one of the tallest standing Buddhas in some age. Now though there are multiple statues taller than these that have come up, but in some times they were the tallest. So these are some of the important points that you need to remember about these. You can always get a mains answer also, mains question also in the Bamiyan Buddhas, because this is an important site, right? Now the next topic, a very small topic that we will discuss now, is the world energy transition outlook. Right, this is the report, and report based questions are very obvious in UPSC or even in your Punjab or state PCS examinations. ठीक है, जैसे इन्होंने पूछा था रूल ऑफ लॉ या रूल ऑफ लॉ रिपोर्ट, जस्टिस रिपोर्ट और ट्रैवल एंड टूरिज्म रिपोर्ट, ये कौन पब्लिश करता है. सो इन दैट वे दिस वर्ल्ड एनर्जी ट्रांजिशंस आउटलुक रिपोर्ट जो 2022 में अभी रिलीज हुई है, दिस इज ऑल्सो वन स्मॉल इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक. ठीक है जी. इसमें क्या, इसको पब्लिश कौन करता है? एरिना is the agency that is responsible for bringing out this report. Basically this report talks about that how can we transition from less energy efficient means of generation to more energy efficient means, and also ensure energy security. Energy security क्या होता है? that the country is not dependent on outside sources for its energy resources or for its energy needs. देखिए हमारा इंडिया depends on the foreign nations, right? Foreign nations for getting its oil, for getting its coal, and these are very important source of energy. So we are not energy wise secure, because anytime we see a hindrance in the supply of oil and coal from outside, our energy production will be impacted. So we need to have some sources where we do not depend on outside forces. So such sources can be the sun, that means the solar energy. It can be wind, that means the wind energy, right? It can be the geothermal energy, right? So we have to explore such options, this report says, to remain, one, environment friendly, two, to have energy security, three, to ensure energy to one and all, right? These three are very important point. लिख के भी रख सकते हैं, can be used in any answer related to energy. We need to end energy poverty. This was the term used by your Prime Minister Mr. Modi. You can always use it, right? Then we need to have sustainable energy generation sources. Energy generation sources, right? And we need to have energy security. मतलब किसी भी nation पे we cannot depend for our energy needs. This is again a very important point. So whenever there is a question on energy, power generation, must use these three key points. These are the three determinants of India's energy policy. ठीक है, हमें यूएई या ईरान वगैरह के साथ अच्छे रिलेशंस क्यों रखने पड़ते हैं? बिकॉज वी आर वेरी मच डिपेंडेंट ऑन देम टू फुलफिल अवर एनर्जी नीड्स, राइट? सो इसीलिए our entire economic policy, foreign policy is determined by these factors. So keep these three factors in mind, right? Okay. Now the next important topic for today is the India-Sri Lanka relations, right? So before I start the topic, I need you all to first check the geographic location of Sri Lanka, right? Okay, somebody is asking ARENA, the full form of IRENA, it's International Renewable Energy Agency. International Renewable Energy Agency, right? That is its full form, right? Now India Sri Lanka, again a very important aspect. You might be getting the news related to Sri Lanka every day in your newspaper. That is why I thought of discussing this topic with you, right? This is India, to its south we have Sri Lanka. Okay, this is the Park Bay area where you see most of the fishermen related conflicts between the two countries are found, right? Now let's first see that what is the crisis that is existing in Sri Lanka. Her day we are hearing that Sri Lanka is going through severe conditions. You see people are standing in line to get some fuel, right? There is a lot of unemployment that is happening in Sri Lanka. People are not getting food to eat, so there is lot of social unrest, you can say, in Sri Lanka that is going on, right? Now this social unrest has its roots in the economic issues in the country, right? हमेशा दिमाग में याद रखना है कि whenever you see unstable social conditions in a country, that means उसका backdrop में there will be poor economy, right? इकोनॉमी की कंडीशन खराब होगी, इसी वजह से उस सोसाइटी में डिसरप्शन या टर्मोइल देखने को मिलता है. सेम इज द कंडीशन विद श्रीलंका हेयर, राइट? Now let me tell you that what has created this issue for Sri Lanka. So you see, the first blow or first impact that the Sri Lankan economy faced, that was because of COVID. We all know that COVID has destroyed businesses, families, micro enterprises, right? Big businesses. It has impacted a lot in economic and social terms, right? So Sri Lanka could also not escape from the consequences of COVID, right? So देखिए श्रीलंका, आपको भी पता ही है that it is a tourism intensive economy. ठीक है, श्रीलंका डिपेंड्स अ लॉट ऑन टूरिज्म टू गेन इट्स मनी. ठीक है, अपनी कमाई के लिए, अपनी वेलफेयर के लिए दे डिपेंड ऑन टूरिज्म एज देयर प्राइमरी सेक्टर, right? That is their primary sector. Now because of COVID, you know that there were travel bans. That means tourism was heavily impacted, so they could not get the forex exchange reserves that they require to fulfill their needs, right? Now the second issue is that this is an island state. They do not have a lot of resources of their own, right? अपनी agriculture, अपनी production के लिए they depend heavily on imports. ठीक है, imports के लिए क्या चाहिए होता है? forex या foreign exchange reserves. tourism से ये forex earn करके imports के लिए pay करते थे, but now this has ended. So you see, how will they pay for the imports, the basic items that they import like wheat, sugar, etc.? So their daily use needs are not getting met because they do not have money to pay back to the importers, right? और ऊपर से कोविड की वजह से जो हेल्थ इम्पैक्ट होना था, हेल्थ बर्डन, तो अलग से इकोनॉमिक कॉस्ट लेवाई कर रहा है श्रीलंका पे. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट श्रीलंकन इकोनॉमी वॉज ऑलरेडी वीक. Within that, the second blow came, that is the Ukrainian war. See, Ukrainian war is relevant everywhere. That is why at the beginning of this video I told you to mandatorily watch my first Thursday video that was on Ukraine Russia, that has shown the impacts of Ukrainian war on the rest of the world, right? So here also you see, because of the Ukrainian war, the prices of fuel, that is oil, is soaring all over the world, and that is impacting Sri Lanka also adversely. ठीक है, मैंने इसी एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी की बात की थी. ये देखिए, इंडिया इज ऑल्सो वेरी मच डिपेंडेड ऑन imports for oil, and उसके भी costs are, देखिए इंडिया में भी we are seeing inflation because the fuel prices are rising. That is where energy security is required. That is where self reliance is required. That was that point that I was discussing. Here also see, Sri Lanka is also dependent on oil and all, and now that the fuel prices are rising because of the Ukrainian war, so they are not able to meet up their expenses. पहले कोविड ने उनकी इकोनॉमी की टांग तोड़ दी, as you can say, then the Ukrainian war. Okay, so that is why we see such a dilapidated and poor condition in Sri Lanka, right? That is the whole crisis that is being witnessed in Sri Lanka. So now you see India and Sri Lanka are good friends. See, let me just explain you briefly the dynamics of India and Sri Lanka. Right, you see, Sri Lanka is very strategically located. Sri Lanka is very strategically located in the Indo-Pacific. Right, so this location is very relevant for India. India has to keep check on the Chinese. It has to explore the benefits of blue economy in the Indian Ocean. राइट इट ऑल्सो हैज़ टू एक्सट्रैक्ट द मिनरल्स. ये सब मैंने इंडो पैसिफिक की वीडियो में डिस्कस किया था. दैट इज वाई आई एम टेलिंग यू दैट दोज टू वीडियोज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दे serve your purpose everywhere. If you understand those properly, you can use those points anywhere, right? Polymetallic nodules they require, rare earth elements they require, right? For all this strategic location they require, for all this Sri Lanka can be a very good partner for India, right? ये सब श्रीलंका कैन प्रोवाइड. एज आई हैव शोन यू इन द मैप दैट श्रीलंका इज स्ट्रैटेजिकली लोकेटेड इन द इंडियन ओशियन. ये सारा इंडियन ओशियन श्रीलंका में से पास करता है. इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट सी लेन ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन की लाइंस जो है यहाँ से पास करती हैं. ट्रेड पासिस फ्रॉम हेयर, शिप्स पास फ्रॉम हेयर, oil pass from here. That is why that location is very important. So for all these reasons, apart from significance of trade ties and Tamilians, that they are the contact that we have through Buddhism, ठीक है, all these are important components of India-Sri Lanka ties, right? For all these reasons, Sri Lanka is very significant for us, especially because we want to counter check China in Sri Lanka. ठीक है, we have already seen कि इसने अपनी डेट टैप डिप्लोमेसी के अंडर कौन सा श्रीलंका का पोर्ट अपने कब्जे में कर लिया है. टेल मी इन द कमेंट्स बॉक्स. श्रीलंका का वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड स्ट्रैटेजिकली लोकेटेड इंडियन ओशियन में पोर्ट जो है, चाइना हैज एक्वायर्ड दैट अंडर इट्स डेट trap diplomacy. That is, it gives unsustainable loans to the smaller countries which the countries are not able to pay back. So as a result, China takes control of those projects that it is financing. तो उसी philosophy के अंदर इन्होंने श्रीलंका का भी एक important port they have acquired. Tell me quickly. So to prevent such events in future, India needs Sri Lanka very much, right? Sarthak, you are writing short forms. Chabahar, no. Chabahar, where is Chabahar located? Yes, Sarthak Vishal, you are right. The port's name is Hambantota. Hambantota, a very important port in Sri Lanka that has now been acquired by China on 99 years lease. ठीक है, 99 years के लिए it will be with China now. Yeah, Hiteshwar, you are also right. Understand that. So अब China हमारे सिर पे बैठ गया. एक तो you see Sri Lanka is just here to. Now China is sitting here permanently for 99 years. They can anytime bring their ships. ठीक है, they will say that these ships are coming for commercial purposes, but how do we know that they are not misusing that privilege for their military benefits? ठीक है, now the coming of Chinese ships to this place will be a regular affair, and this threatens the security of India. You see, this is India. Now we have permanent presence of China here. ठीक है. So to avoid all such situations where we have become vulnerable to the Chinese, that is why India very much needs Sri Lanka, its cooperation, its friendly ties, right? That is why now in the time of crisis for Sri Lanka, now India has come up with different measures with which it can support the Sri Lankan economy. right? The first measure is obviously to give them financial assistance. उनको पैसा चाहिए, give them that financial assistance so that they can come back, their economy can revive itself and come back on the track, right? So for that, India has given or promised $1.5 billion to the Sri Lankan side, right? Now 2 lines of credit, credit means loan dena, so 2 loan lines or 2 loan key arrangements have been made to be provided to Sri Lanka so that it can buy its basic necessities like food, fuel and medicine. Like I told you that Sri Lanka is so much in crisis that they are not even able to import their basic necessities, right? So we are providing them the money to at least import their basic needs, right? So this is the first help that will be given under the loan initiative. Second is to revive their economy and to prevent their energy crisis. The second line of credit will be focusing on that, right? So all this happened when our external minister S. J. Shankar, he visited Colombo. You might have known last week मैंने BIMSTEC discuss किया था that BIMSTEC meet happened in Colombo. Colombo is in Sri Lanka, right? So there we also had a bilateral meeting between our minister S. J. Shankar Saab and their president and prime minister. That is where India made all these promises. One promise was also to establish Jaffna कल्चरल सेंटर, ठीक है? देखिए श्रीलंका में भी who spread Buddhism in Sri Lanka, who was that king who was responsible, who ruled in India and was responsible for spreading Buddhism to Sri Lankan areas, right? So that Buddhist connect is itself that we are celebrating by establishing this Jaffna Cultural Center. All this point you can mention if there is a question on India Sri Lanka. Do mention that India is assisting Sri Lanka in its weak condition. ये state civil services के लिए बहुत important issue है because it has been in news for a long time now. So if you are getting Himachal Pradesh civil services का mains और राजस्थान का और पंजाब का, then this can be a potential question. So make note of these 2 points that India is giving this much assistance, lines of credit, and Jaffna Cultural Center has been established. Tell me quick, you haven't responded, that who was that king who was responsible for spreading Buddhism to Sri Lanka from India? A very important ruler. You all must know about him, right? He was responsible. Now Buddhism is the major. Yeah, Nitin, very right. Very good. It's Ashoka. Ashoka sent his daughter and his son, right, to spread the idea of Buddhism in this area. That is when Sri Lanka gained the knowledge of Buddhism, and now it is a Buddhist majority country. Majority of the population in Sri Lanka follows the religion of Buddhism, right? So Ashoka, the king from, right, Gopal, you are also right. Ashoka, the king who belonged to which dynasty? Can you answer that also? He belonged to the Mauryan Empire and he was responsible for spreading this culture, right? Now, all these 4 are very important topics. Do make a note of this. This is all that I have discussed in this pictography, that there are 2 major factors, right? Just a minute. Okay, so tourism and soaring prices are the cause of all the pain that Sri Lanka is facing. So all these, yes Sarthak, you are right. Kalinga war ke baad Ashoka was converted himself into Buddhism. After that he started spreading Buddhism to the rest of areas, right? Yeah, you all are right, Mauryan Empire it was. So all these topics are very important, especially the Sri Lanka part. Do make notes of these topics from this lecture itself, right? That will be this for this video. Thank you so much for watching.